perception problem among people out there who don't know the city well, or who haven't been in the city in a while, or who have frequented it recently and said it's not the same. I want each of you, and we'll do it briefly, just in a few words, give me your perception of the city as it relates to the challenges that the city has today. And Tom, I'll start with you.
Okay, I think part of the nature is we get compared to Minneapolis a lot. When you say it's sleepy, Minneapolis bills itself as this place where 24/7 they're going nonstop. We're not like that in St. Paul. It's a government town, a lot of nonprofits based here. So I think our approach, I wouldn't call it slow, I'd call it deliberate, and I think it's a function of what we are, which is we have a lot of government.
You recognize the challenges?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's it's a perception issue.
I believe we definitely have challenges, but on the other side, I've had probably 3 occasions this year when everything is clicking together perfectly in the city. So whether we have a Wild game or a concert over at the Grand Casino Arena, our hotel is full with occupancy, the Ordway's going, and then the other night, I think it was sometime this summer, we also had a game down at CHS Field. And leaving the concert, I thought I was in New York. There were so many people on the street. Rice Park was full of people, and we see that often, and we're seeing it more and more often. So it gives me optimism for the city.
I think there's a true element in that, and that's part of what the strategy plan lays out, is that St. Paul is a vibrant city when there's an event. People come into the city, they have a good time, and then they go, but they don't necessarily utilize the city to just be. People don't want to just be in the city, and I think that's part of what we'll talk about, and it's part of one of the issues that the city has to face. Mayor, your perceptions of the city as it faces these challenges?
I think what you just said is a really important understanding, and it's something that our Downtown Alliance has helped us to realize. We use the word sometimes stickiness. People love to come in for a Wild game, and people love to come in for the Yacht Club Music Festival, and people love to come in for Music on Mears, and for a concert, or for we'll have a number of folks downtown for the World Juniors Hockey Championships. And when you're there, downtown feels anything but slow. The question is like stickiness. How do we get people to come down and have dinner ahead of time? How to get folks to come down and have lunch ahead of time? How to get folks to stay for a beer after the fact? And a lot of that has been exacerbated by, and strangely, we probably are as good today as we ever have been at getting those big events like that and like having evening stuff. But the way the pandemic shifted all of our work impacts has, I think, isolated something that's always been a challenge, and that's that we have so little housing downtown. That's something that's at the core of our strategy.
You raise a good point, and that's true, that this strategy report found that Grand Casino Arena, formerly XL Energy Center, has returned to its pre-pandemic volume of visitors, and that is one of the highlights and one of the bright spots in this report, and one of the things that will be utilized to move forward. Chris, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think we have some great moments in downtown, but we have some times when the moments aren't as good. And as we pointed out in the strategy, we need more residents, more workers, and more visitors coming to all parts of downtown. And what I like is our strategy addresses all those. It has a lot of investments in those priorities. And importantly in St. Paul, one of the things I really appreciate is exactly what's happening here. This is a place where people from various backgrounds, professions, different sectors that they represent, we come to the table together and we get after it. And I see an energy right now in getting after the real challenges we have, for certain, but it's taking advantage of the great opportunities that we have in front of us as well.
Joe, you had a deep hand in putting this together, so you know this report intimately. Is what's being said here relevant, and does it reflect what you found?
100%. I mean, I think when we think about the long-held reputation of being the sleepier of the two towns, a lot of folks are thinking about the central business district, the core of downtown. They're not thinking about Rice Park on an event night or farmers market on the weekends or around CHS Field. They're thinking about those core blocks, maybe 4 or 6 blocks in the middle of downtown, where it's exclusively office buildings. We have exclusively office uses. And for years, I mean, I'm really proud of the work that we did with, bringing in all the entertainment and visitor destinations. But for years, we'd wring our hands and say people aren't around, after 6. And it's like, well, we built it that way. There's no reason for anybody to be in those office buildings. There's no residents around. There's no visitor destinations in the core. And so one of the things that's been said as key is we have to have that mix of users, but we have to have them throughout the downtown. And so what's happened right now with the core, it's exclusively office use. Well, office use falls, even if everybody's coming in 3 days a week, that's still a couple days where folks aren't in, and that creates a challenge because we didn't create that mix. So this downtown investment strategy, I'm really passionate about it. I'm a big believer in it. I think this notion of having a mix of users is really what's key to make it feel vibrant, not just at noon, right? But early in the morning, folks are going out for a run, walking the dog, doing those kinds of things. Same with at night. Like, that matters, and having that mix of users is the key.
Something I said early on, and that is to get people to want to be in the city more than just for an event.